let's talk everyone's favorite topic, money. How do you make it? It's taken many years to convince folks that EdTech could be profitable. And now in 2023, there are, I think, 30 EdTech unicorns around the world, collectively valued at $89 billion. But it's still no easy feat, and monetization remains a big challenge for many founders in EdTech. How do you think about monetization and then building a business model?
I'm an ex-consultant, so everything I think I was in threes. But then let's say there's three different types of business models. There's a service-based business model. So if you're doing something that's based on effort, so how much effort I put in, and I need to charge for that effort. There's different ways to think about that. Let's say if you're a bunch of contractors, your cost plus time, you're charging for that. Or you have for our strategy consultants, we charge for a fixed duration and a certain value, like X weeks for a project. Or it can be success or outcome based. So all your investment bankers, if a transaction happens, you get to charge X% of a fee, etc. So those are for services rendered, right? There's ways to charge for that. And those are great businesses. They're a little more intense, but with AI, there's probably better ways to automate it. And those are the places where you might have a service to start, and then you start productizing pieces of those services. But this is a way that people buy stuff because they also understand it's the closest way to go see the tangible efforts with value, right? Because I can at least say, hey, there's like a team of 3 people here working really hard. I'm willing to pay for that team of 3 people because I know what that's worth. So that's kind of more of a straightforward model. You then have the product and platform models, and usually these are on a user volume basis. You might have a licensed software and support. You might build an open source technology or something, and then you say, to use this open source technology, I might open it up, but I have several code in there, etc. that if you want to use, you need a license. Or you need to pay for a license, or you need to pay for support for it. You could have a subscription model. So that obviously is what's in vogue right now. Everybody wants a subscription business because it has a recurring revenue, it is steady, people can predict, and that's how you get also probably better valuations because people like seeing recurring revenue and be able to go process what that means. And that scales with user and volume so that you can see not only do you have same customer growth, but obviously as you acquire new customers, you can grow those. Then the last way around product platform, of course, is our favorite ad funded. So it's free to the user, but then you're using ads to fund all those products and platforms. It's a little harder in education just because of the high stakes and you want to make sure that you're showing the right ads and so on and so forth. But another way to think about it is leads. So a lot of times there are platforms in education that generate leads, and that's also ad funded. It's just maybe call it a little bit different. So that's another way to think about it. Then the last area is just charging for content. So in education, one of the beauties is that we actually create content. Oftentimes the core of education is actually the content and the learning. So you can charge that. And again, different models there. It could be a subscription because it's low cost. You have a large library. And so charging individual transactions is like very painful for everybody. So you might say, you know what, instead of trying to charge you everything, I'm going to try to turn it into a subscription so I have that recurring revenue. And I just need to continue to deliver enough value in that subscription so that you continue to subscribe to it. And really you're renting, right? You're basically renting the content, like you're learning. The challenge there, of course, is do you have a compelling enough subscription? Because oftentimes education, right, is a point in time thing that people do. And then they come in and out of it. So as opposed to Netflix, where you might watch every weekend forever, as education subscription might not be the case. You might want to learn something, and then you say, I'm done with learning, I'll come back. The other model, of course, is transaction, one-time value. Buy something, own it, you use it. So there's one-time value. There's also success and outcome-based. So I think you saw some of these income sharing agreements. That is a way of thinking through of like, hey, you go through the education, and rather than you paying up front, it's more success-based so that you make it on the back end. So those are 3 different buckets of business models. And again, depending on your service, are you providing ongoing value? Are you providing one-time value? Is it a big ticket item? Is it a smaller ticket item? Then who's your audience? You might choose one of these models or a mix of them.